Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back finally to yet another episode of Community Ideas for Fallout 5. It's been a little while since my last proper video and I do apologise for that. I've recently wrapped up university and recently launched a gaming documentary channel called Pumpkin Dynasty, so if you're interested in that, I suggest you go check it out because I'll be making a few Bethesda related projects over there, including a Fallout documentary series called Nukaverse, as well as a feature documentary called Creation Kit, History of Bethesda Modding, which I know some of you might want to see. But yeah, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the series. We have quite a few cool ideas to chat about in this video and I'm excited just to dive right in, so without further ado, let's jump into some community ideas. First up we have Omar Omara with a yet another idea for Fallout 5, and this time about pre-war content. Not Fallout 5 per se, but I would love to see a spin-off about the resource wars. Send me off in a vertibird to the Middle East or North Africa to fight over the last remaining oil reserves. Would be a cool way to see the other parts of the world too, interact with other countries and their respective armies. Don't call it Fallout since it's before the Great War, but have it be like a sister game. This idea is pretty cool because I don't see it as a game, but more so as like a animated short or a collection of animated shorts similar to Halo Legends or the Overwatch animations. I think doing it this way would be cool because it would offer the information and insight and lore you want without having to make a big massive shooter game around it. We got a glimpse of it in Fallout 4 and just that little glimpse is really fun just to be there, you know? It was really fun just to feel the vibes of pre-war. I personally want like a pre-war tour of a Nuka-Cola facility, you know, like something that would be so bizarre but also just so brilliant at the same time. Actually, correct myself there, I would really want to go back to Nuka World before the war, like have it be like a booming park, just with so many people there, the rides are accessible, everything's there, everything's cool. But yeah, great idea Omar, thank you so much for the submission. Next up we have Taco Bellaville, if that's how you say the name. I'm going to call you Taco. Give us a smaller scope but more reactivity to our actions. Let me see the consequences of my actions. Maybe only see one neighbourhood of an entire city, but let it be highly reactive. Whether it's the addition or subtraction of certain people, maybe cleaning the streets or making them worse, or even rebuilding, reinforcing entire dwellings. I want my choices to have weight. And then Mary Jane also comments on this post by saying, also give us destructible environments. I love that blowing up the Institute resulted in an entire crater in the Commonwealth that wasn't there before. Or how the ship can fly from the savings and loads building into the other high-rise. Give me more of that, even if they're scripted. I think again, most if not all Fallout fans would agree with this post. Something I cherish so much in an RPG, and I'm guessing a lot of RPG players feel the same way, is the result of my actions. Even if it's on a small scale, seeing the world change and adapt to your actions is just so cool. It's such a great feeling once you realise what's happening. Like, maybe if I attacked one town and robbed most of it, neighbouring settlements would become more protective and armour themselves up and maybe become more hostile towards you. Something like that would be small, but overall a really cool feature to have. Destructible environments as well is always a plus. It doesn't need to be like, obviously, the full-on massive scale of Battlefield where I could demolish a house or just tear down a skyscraper, but maybe having the ability to blow up a wall would be really cool. But yeah, more big scale destructible environments would be good because it also ties into seeing the results of your actions. Next up we have Adam Swaza, who, if you don't know, is the project lead of Empire Wastes. Great guy, great modder, go support his work. Go check out Empire Wastes. It's an amazing mod. I feel like Fallout San Francisco is a very plausible next location. Between hearing Kellogg is from there and even so much as listening to the radio and seeing the bridge out the window, it would fit into how Fallout likes to hint to the next tile in the current tile. Like how we heard about the Commonwealth in Fallout 3, otherwise it feels like it's kinda out of place to mention San Francisco so strongly for no reason. Plus, now that Microsoft owns both Obsidian and Bethesda, the idea of a West Coast Fallout game based in areas the original games were set in is now a high possibility, as they can draw inspiration, design and plans from the original teams from Fallout 1 and 2. If it's true, I would love to see the return of the She, and an expanded influence of Hubology, seeing that they show up in Nuka World. I also wonder if the Enclave would have retaliated against San Francisco as a scapegoat for attacking the oil rig, killing the president. This idea is probably the most likely to happen, as like Adam says, we all know BGS love to tease what they're doing in the next game, in the previous. Like, I'm pretty sure Vault 76 was mentioned all the way back in Fallout 3 in the Vault Terminal in Brotherhood, and also in Fallout 4 in the opening cinematic. San Francisco would be a cool region to visit, especially if society there has progressed more than the likes of DC and the Commonwealth, so I can imagine the game being similar to New Vegas in a sense, where they could have like a lot of massive factions in the play. The Enclave returning would be cool, but I would prefer it if it was more side content rather than being a part of the main story. If they were in the game, it would be cool to see them being a larger remnant group, similar to New Vegas, but still living in bunkers and still operating in some level. This could also tie into the whole attacking San Francisco for the oil rig, like you said in the post, with the attack resulting in a loss for the Enclave and then becoming just splintered even more. Also, I personally think, this is just a hot take by the way, I personally think in Exile Entertainment, the developers of Wasteland might be working on the next Fallout. I would want that. I think that would be really cool, especially how Obsidian is really busy at the moment with like 4 or 5 games in development. And in Exile, they have experience in Fallout, and they also have experience in Wasteland 3 and all that as well. So like, yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, great idea, Adam. Thank you for posting. Up now we have Reach42A with their idea. Hawaii, to be honest. Just could do a bunch of cool and original stuff with it. Maybe we could finally get a game without the Brotherhoods. Here's a fun fact for you, Reach. There is a Fallout DLC size mod in development called Fallout Hawaii, set in that location, which I'm really looking forward to. That's if the mod actually gets, released. But from looking at that mod's concept art, a Fallout Hawaii would look really cool and original just because the setting would be so exotic compared to other Fallout titles. I think a Hawaiian setting would be really cool for a DLC instead of a main game, just because I know folks would prefer a location like New York as a main location, then Hawaii would be like a little DLC 1 or DLC 2 sort of thing. Last but not least, we have Andrew Pitch, who gives us a fun synopsis on his ideal Fallout 5. War never changes. Almost 690 years after the Great War, larger parts of civilization are being put back together like a puzzle. The new California Republic almost has control over all of post-war America. Chicago is on the front of war. The city of Chicago is controlled by 5 major factions. The ancient airport is the main command for the Brotherhood, as it has better radio equipment of any area in America at the time. The Brotherhood has enough tech for decades, as this war has been going on for 200 years. You, the warrior, your job is to end this conflict and rebuild the state of Illinois. The Lincoln Wasteland needs your help, as this could define America's downfall or rise. So there's a few interesting things here to talk about, but also a few that make me kind of confused. First, Chicago would be a great location. Having that city be locked into this massive conflict, being locked into this massive turf war would be really interesting. The part that kind of puts me off, and it might put you off as well, I don't know, like, let's have a discussion down in the comments, is having this game set 690 years after the Great War, which is nearly 1,000 years after the bombs dropped. Like, are you telling me that the NCR and Brotherhood would still be a thing and the Wasteland would still be a thing nearly 700 years after the initial apocalypse? I get Fallout 3 is still apocalyptic after 200 years, but you can see the Wasteland becoming much more civil and much more dense with New Vegas and Fallout 4. I can't imagine there would be much of a Wild West, Wild Wasteland sort of thing, like, after 690 years. I don't think the NCR would still be a thing, but there would definitely be like a return of the US government of sorts, and America becoming like a full country by that time. That's just my opinion anyway. Putting the massive time jump aside, I could see this being an interesting Fallout game. It could bring back a lot of factions that players love, but it also has room for new and interesting factions to evolve. Anyway, interesting idea, Andrew. Thanks for coming. So what's your thoughts on these Fallout 5 ideas? Please let me know down in the comments, and do you have an idea of your own? Let me know down in the comments, because I would love to read them. That's me for this video, everyone. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly, because now I have plenty of free time to work on videos again, so expect more to come and more frequently. And if I don't make more videos, then it just means I'm a lazy bastard, and I'm probably playing World of Warcraft, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you all later. Bye-bye.